I I'm gonna be doing some crochet today. I want to make something, and I have this blue yarn. It's really crap yarn. Not a nice word, but it's just yarn that's not really good for much, but certain kinds of crafts. And I had that for a while. And one day my cats got into it, and this is what it looks like now. And I'm in the process of trying to sort out this yarn. It has two ends. There's another one inside there, and I have the other one. And what I'm doing is wrapping it on this thing to make a nice, neat little cake. It's what they're called, is a cake. This item is called a distaff, and you can look that up on Google. I don't remember how it's defined, but basically it's used for just what you see. They make something that you can put your yarn on, and it will automatically wrap it. If it was already in that bag there, then I just attach the end, set it up, and then spin it, and it wraps. But because my yarn here, I don't have one of those first, but my yarn here is an absolute disaster. You know, cats like yarn, and I don't let mine play with yarn, but they're cats, and if they see this, that's a toy. And they would come and play with it. If I step away and don't come back for a while, they'd be in this or in one of the other bags I have here. But I have to, before I can use this yarn, I have to disentangle it. It's extremely tangled. I have been sitting here now for over half an hour. I've managed to get just a little. You can see how neat that is. There are people that are better at this than I am, but this is the hard way of doing it, and this is the way your great-grandmothers probably wrapped yarn into those nice, neat little balls. We call them balls, but I've heard them called cakes, which I like. And I have to really work on this. I get a little bit done, and then I have to go and do some more. And while I've been really tempted to cut it, but I really don't want the piece I'm working on to have a lot of knots with strings that I've got to weave in, because that's even more work. I have to take a needle and put those ends in there and then weave them into the item I'm making so that they don't show. It has to be very smooth. It has to look like there are no mistakes. There are, even in something that's not got cut yarn in it, there are mistakes unless you're that good, and I'm not. So to do this, I've got to sit here and untangle this. And while I was sitting here doing this, I had a thought that I got to share. This is your life right here. I mean, you don't come in the world like this. You come in the world like this. This is not finished, by the way, but I could cut it here and it would be done. But you come in the world wrapped in a neat and tidy package. Maybe like this yarn came. It was in a fresh skein. It's wrapped up. You can even see how that's wrapped around. They put them on machines and wrap them into nice skeins. That's a skein of yarn. But then things come along as you get older and as you're growing, and they kind of tangle you up, get you all wrapped up in knots. And it starts from the minute you come out of that bag, out of this bag. That's probably a better example. You're a skein of yarn, and you're perfect when you get here. But over time, with the bag opened and people pulling on the yarn, or the cats getting into it, or even kids. I've seen kids, I've had children, and I've seen children get into that yarn and just pull and pull, and then you've got a big pile of yarn like this, and you can't tell where the ends are. If I cut this off in a few minutes, it would be so tangled up I couldn't find the end. And I know there's another end in here. It's here somewhere. I don't know when I'll get to the end of this, but at some point it's the end. And I'm hoping by the time I get to the end, I have managed to make this nice, sweet little cake So I'm ready for the perfect item. I'm going to make a shawl or a baby blanket, something like that. But I can't do it because I got this. And this is not fun to straighten out. This is really not fun. It's very annoying, and you got to be a dedicated crocheter or knitter to have the patience to do this. Or maybe you just cut it off and throw this away and you start what's in the bag. Now, I'm not wasteful, and this is quite a bit of yarn. If it was a very small amount, I probably would cut it off and throw it away. Because it's taking time that I could put in the creation of the item. I don't want to waste my time taking out the knots and the tangles. I want to make something beautiful, something useful that I can gift to someone, or I can use it myself. So, because I'm not wasteful and because I think all of this yarn is important, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to untangle this yarn until I get it all out nice and smooth. There go the cats. If I walk away and leave this on a table unprotected, these cats will make this even worse than it is right now. But I'm not going to leave it unprotected and unguarded because I want to use this yarn. It's important. It matters to me. And I'm going to take care of it. And I'm going to untangle all of these tangles from this skein of yarn and put it to good use. You guys have a good day.